So when you are ready, I'm going to invite you to sit with a straight spine if you're not driving. And you can open your hands on your lap and make sure your feet are touching the floor. And you can close your eyes if you haven't done so already. And I'm going to invite you to take deep breaths in through the nose and then hold it for a couple of seconds. And then you breathe out through pursed lips longer than your inhale. And make sure you fold over a little at the end of your out breath to completely empty your lungs. So you can breathe in, hold it, and just let go. Breathe in. Hold it on the top. And breathe out through pursed lips. Just let that go. Breathe in. Hold it. And let your expectations go. Final big one. Breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And let that negativity go. Return to your natural breath. And let's go into that body a little bit more. And ask yourself, what emotions am I experiencing? And it might be helpful to state the emotion out loud and give it a number from 1 to 10. For example, anger, 5. Fear, a 7. And if it are multiple emotions, that's okay. Or if it's difficult to trace, focus on your breath and ask yourself, what emotions am I experiencing right now? And what you can do is to actually place a hand on the emotion which you feel more than the other ones and trace it in your body. This might be difficult, but that's okay. And breathe through that. You don't need to push it away. Just feel it. Easier said than done. And now I'm going to ask you for the next step. And that is becoming aware of your excuses. So can you notice when you have an intention and don't follow it through? And can you notice and record what your thoughts and feelings were about the task and your excuses? For example, you wanted to do finances, but you felt resistant, anger, frustration. And you thought, I can do that tomorrow, I'm in no rush. But also focus on the feeling. So awareness is the first step towards change. So think of your excuses and your feelings when you procrastinate. And maybe you will recognize yourself in the following. I will do it tomorrow. I only work well under pressure. I simply don't have enough time to work on it. It's too difficult. I cannot do it. I'm too tired, angry, sad, or stressed. Remember to breathe, and can you think of any other excuses? Well done. And remember, this is the first step. And sometimes they seem bigger than they are. Sometimes the task seems bigger than it actually is. Or you are dreading a feeling which is actually less than it actually is. So if you think about this task and you having those excuses, what would a loving friend say to you? Maybe they will say something like, once you do it, it doesn't seem so bad, or everything will be okay. 1 year from now, you are going to think, oh, it wasn't that bad. And what would your friend say more about you in this situation when you are procrastinating? And would your friend make any suggestions? Or would they embody feelings of unconditional understanding and compassion? And can you now show that compassion to yourself? Can you place your hands on your heart and state out loud with me? I am learning about my procrastinating behavior. I am aware of my excuses. I will set intentions to work against those excuses. I am doing my best. I will focus on compassion and self-esteem. I am taking this time apart for me. I am improving myself. And can you now thank yourself for taking this time apart? Can you thank the other meditators here with you, who are also working on themselves? And you can let go and have another quick check-in. How am I feeling? Have my emotions changed? And you can move around, open your eyes if you haven't done so already, and come back. Welcome back. And please share how that experience was for you. Because what we've done, and also research shows, compassion is key. It makes you more resilient. And also the thing with procrastinating behavior, and if you are curious to work on this particular part, it's, for example, when you have excuses, you might even talk badly about yourself. It might even be your inner critic. Indeed, I felt so much guilt. And that could be, and I don't know if this is in your case, but for me, it was a lot of inner critic work. So I also needed to do visualizations with my inner critic. And that is why one step is become aware, of course, of your behavior and your excuses, and then set intentions. But those intentions should be from a compassionate, adult, healthy voice, and not from your inner critic. Not of, you should know better, you should walk. No shoulds. It could be something like, and I didn't talk about this in detail, but this is a take-home message, hopefully. It could sound something like, it would be lovely if I could, or I would like to work on. That sounds much better than I should and I. So hopefully that's a take-home message. Work on your excuses, but also your intention setting and your goal setting. And the other part is indeed a compassionate friend. Compassion for yourself is very important, but it could also be helpful to have a compassionate friend. If you have an actual friend in your life, there are also now studies where they are using accountability buddies. In fact, I am actually also an accountability buddy because I work with students during my daytime job with ADHD and people with different symptoms. And it really helps that I'm there when they do the work. So I'm not the one that is like, you didn't do your work. No, we celebrate when you've done the work. So it's really important to perhaps find an accountability buddy, not per se that, oh, you should remind me that I should do the work. No, celebrate the work. So yeah, I've shared a lot. In the beginning, for those who joined in later, I am a qualitative researcher, I'm a lecturer, I help students with procrastinating behavior, but mostly important, I am a really big former procrastinator. That's why I combined my research background with my love for meditation to share here with you. I've shared a couple of research details beforehand, and that's why I really appreciate donations. You know, this is a hobby of mine, and with your donations I can actually expand and hopefully help more people. This is not my daytime job. So with your donations, I can hopefully help more people and do more and make better content as well. I see the hearts and gratitude. Thank you so much. And I want to close off with a couple of things. And I always try to say this, and sometimes you can hear me say it, but please be mindful of your words. Try to avoid labeling yourself as the procrastinator, because then it becomes this negative loop. Then you give yourself unspoken permission to actually act as a person worthy of that label. If you tell it like it is, procrastinating behavior, you don't become the whole identity of a procrastinator. And another thing is work on intention setting. That's one thing I would suggest. And compassion. I also talked a little bit about this. And that is that we make a task bigger in our head. But this is also with the emotion. So those emotions you did in the beginning, that check-in, is part of emotional regulation, which is key to beat procrastinating behavior. But if you would compare that emotion of being afraid of a task and then actually doing the task which you're afraid of and then feeling that emotion, that's probably even lower than the actual one. Weird, right? So we're doing something to prevent the feeling, which is probably less than we're actually, I don't know why we're wired like this, but we do it. Thank you, John, for the donation. It really helps me. And indeed, worry, or anxiety, as you might call it. I think a big emotion with procrastinating behavior, at least for me, fear. It was all fear-based. It really was. Yeah. So that's why emotional regulation is key. Yeah, exactly, Jay. There are multiple components here. It's indeed kindness, compassion, but also feelings. It's not the one thing fix. It's not a quick fix also. It's not a quick fix. I'm about to close off. Almost over 30 minutes. But people, thank you for being here. And hopefully I've helped someone today. If you are curious, I have so much more on my Inside Timer profile. And I also have a 10-day course on Inside Timer to beat procrastinating behavior. And I talk more in detail and I offer multiple techniques and meditation practices. So you can follow me on Inside Timer. And I see the hearts again. Thank you so much. Hopefully you have a lovely day or night ahead. And maybe I will see you in another live. Thank you. Another live event. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Namaste. Doei.